Welcome back to Talking to the Game. It's your host Marquise, and I'm here with my two brothers.
Your boy Joe Sue back at it again.
AB, welcome for another week.
And you already know we about to kick it off with the NBA. You know how we get started. First, we got up. Oh, actually, no. Today we're talking about the NCAA.
College hoops.
First topic, because as you can see, they're starting to compensate these young boys for their names that they well deserved. Make this money off of them in college. Tell me y'all thoughts, man.
Go ahead, Sue.
All right. My thoughts on it. I feel like it's overdue. I'm glad they're actually finally getting the compensation that they well deserve. You know, like a lot of the basketball players, they are selling out seats, filling up the stadiums, and they don't even get a penny off of it. It all goes to the school and the program. So now it's time like that the starters on the big conference, they're gonna be making 18 to 1.2 a season. So it's like they're gonna need that in college. They're gonna need it. Now, my thoughts, I did think about this for a little bit. So you know how like most players, when they are collegiate athletes, they only stay for 1 year and then they go professional. Well, basketball mostly. They go professional because they need money. So now that they're being paid, I feel like they're going to stay a little bit longer, actually be able to fill out their collegiate career, actually make it to 3 years, depending on their name, and then they'll be able to make it pro. So it's definitely a beneficial for both parties, the team and the players.
So for that one, so I got a question for you. So what benefit does it do a player to stay an extra couple of years if they get it paid for one, but the league or the next level, if they're good enough, will be able to pay them more? That was my question for you. But as far as the compensation goes, I'm gonna add to what I did on the video for our channel. I feel as though, and I think this compensation, I agree with Sue, is well overdue. I believe that our NCAA athletes, that they do so much for these schools, and they bring so much revenue and so much fame and so much notoriety to these schools, that they should be compensated for the profit and for the advantages that they do bring. And my idea for that would have been possibly like a minimum wage setup, where you have like they not necessarily collect the unemployment checks, but whatever the unemployment wage would be for that state, that would be what they would get for it, for monthly or for weekly, however they get paid. That way they at least have the bare necessities that at least other adults in that state are afforded, when they are, in those economic situations. So I totally believe that the compensation is well overdue. Ed O'Bannon will be proud. I'm hoping that this actually does turn out for NCAA college athletes all over the world, all over the country.
Okay, so when we talk about this compensation, the schools are paying them as well, or is it just endorsements?
They get endorsements as well.
So that was my thing.
I'm not with that.
If they're getting if they're getting paid by the school, I feel as though, for me at least, if the school's already paying their education, I don't think they need to be compensated from the school as well. But I do feel as though they should be allowed to make money off their name as far as endorsements.
They should.
That was my thing. I feel as though like the endorsements that they can have in college, they should be able to make that money off their name. But if they're already getting a free ride to play basketball or football or whatever it is, I don't think they need to get an additional check on top of that, unless it's from endorsements.
So what about the guy that's not good enough to get the endorsement? The guy that's not the top one or two guys on the team, because it's not like everybody's going to have an endorsement, and there's nobody that's going to happen
like that either.
And
so yeah, where does
that free education come? They're still on scholarship. And now, like as far as endorsements come, endorsements pick who they want to pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that was the whole issue there. I mean, if you want to keep it on a level playing field where everybody can participate, you would try to make it a flat incentive, or you try to do it like a flat bonus where you have goal incentives. You have a set predetermined rules that you have to give in order to get certain amounts of money. That way everybody can participate rather than just having the top one or two players on the team. Because at that point, I don't know what's going to happen to the college football and basketball game, how the disbursement of athletes will move according to that. You know, if I'm just going to a school just to be the man and I can get endorsements from that city. So, you know, now it changes the focus of some of these guys, some of these players going into school. Am I looking to get to the next? I mean, like, what is my goal now? Am I trying to get the endorsement? Why am I going to school? So, I mean
you're going to want the endorsement if you're in college or even at the next level, because that's just another stream of income that's coming your way. Like, anybody's going to want that endorsement, regardless if you are in college or in high school, for that matter.
No, having it is fine. But again, what does that do to your psyche? You know, seeing, you know, as far as you can't teach teamwork. And that's something that I kept preaching. You cannot teach teamwork and especially in that type of environment, without having some type of level playing field. That's all I'm saying.
I think you could still teach teamwork.
It's hard to do that. Because it's not,
hard? Because
it's not like everybody's getting paid for it. It's not like everybody's getting paid and then it's like, all right, then you're better than me off that one. It's like it's not always going to be that, you know, like that's that type of situation. There's going to be some type of contention, especially down the road. Like, what can the system turn out to be? This compensation thing could be very, very slippery.
But that's a business though. That's just like the NFL. Everybody's not going to get paid the same.
Exactly. And I think that's what they were trying to discourage NCAA from falling into, becoming a much bigger business than what it already is. Like right now, it's a farm system for the league. That's what it is. But now when you got players that's about to get paid, it redefines amateurism versus professionalism.
Exactly my point.
Now that these college players are considered professional,
that's up to them to decide, because now that's what the whole compensation issue is about. Now you get paid, then you're a professional. Am I correct? And that's on
that's what, by definition.
So if that's the case, colleges should be paying these players, even though they're already paying their way into the school system already. So I'm just saying, allow them to get endorsements and make money off their name by however they do that. It could be a pizza shop that endorses the football team and the whole football team gets money, or however the case may be.
That's different than individual endorsements.
They're going to be making money off the endorsements. It's their name, their image, and the likelihood that they're going to be getting compensated off of.
No, it's the individual endorsements that's going to be the role that's going to, you know, lead down to
disaster. He's saying because of the individualism.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
There's not going to be no camaraderie in the college system for as far as sports being able to teach the basic fundamentals as far as playing as a team, because everybody's chasing one goal, and that's to get that big.
Get paid.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I was saying. Like, that's going to change like the dynamics of everything too.
Exactly.
So it's like, are players going to want to stay to like actually keep chasing the bread, or are they going to want to ball out? Normally how, like, since they don't get paid, you know how they ball out just to make their name in the league. So now they're getting paid. Are they going to have the same attitude? Is it like, all right, I'm getting paid, I'm the man, I'm good where I'm at?
I mean, it's not like they're going to be offering them $1 million, you know, for an endorsement like that.
Yeah, it depends on how they are. Depends on how nice they are. They will be able to make $1 million.
It's going to have to be some type of cap. There is no way the NCAA is going to allow some of those players to be making $1 million.
I feel like it should be.
It will. Depends on the conference.
I feel like it should be unlimited cap. If they just do endorsements, it should be unlimited cap. And I say this because
that's a tough one too.
Because it's like this, like for them to sustain that endorsement, that Nike deal, that whatever deal you have, they're gonna want to see you get to that next level. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, oh, I'm a college superstar and that's it. No, we want to see you get to the next level. The reason why we're doing this, because we see that you have potential to be something great at the next level. know what I mean? Whether it's a one year contract, 2 year contract, however many years the contract is. So I just think it would be easier because at that point for colleges, you're not paying them, you're still paying their education, and now these endorsements is up to how hard that person works. And I understand it's harder for different positions too. Like seeing the old lineman with a Gatorade commercial is probably unlikely. You know what I mean?
Like
but to say he doesn't have endorsements, we can't say for sure. You just never know, is what I'm saying. Regardless if it's whatever endorsement he has.
I just don't think individual endorsements are the way to go. I give you another example. What happens when a guy is sponsored by Adidas and he goes to a school that's sponsored by Nike? What happens then? Does Nike allow? Does the school allow that player to still wear whatever they want to wear? Like what happens? What's the new thing? Like, because if I'm a company like Nike, I'm not allowing a school that I sponsor, that I give my gear to, that I choose for them to show it and to be the face of my brand, and I got somebody on that team with that exposure wearing another brand. What does that do? Like, there's so many other questions that need to be answered down this road before we can just say, okay, endorsements is just the way to go. Like, compensation, fine, but endorsements is a slippery road. That I think that
I feel like compensation is not. It's a slippery road. If you want
a conversation, you can make that a flat. Like talking about a stipend is different than talking about a variable of how many endorsements somebody can buy, especially uncapped. Okay. So like you're talking about a flat fee and then like maybe an incentive-based system. We got goals that you have to reach in order to get a certain dollar amount. That's different, and that be predetermined by the conference.
So what if one player wants more money than the other? You know that happens all the time.
Again, that would be an incentive-based. So determined by the conference's rules, they can determine whatever dollar amount would be associated with whatever accomplishment. So if I rush for over 150 yards a game, 150 yards, I might get a certain amount of dollar amount added to my check for that week, my flat stipend. If you want to,
he don't get 150 by himself.
Again, that would be incentive based for everybody. It's not just for the running back. It's not just for the receivers. You'll have something in place for these guys. That's what I'm saying. You can't just do it for somebody and not do it for everybody. So the fact that we're talking about, it's not just him. It means you got to do something for everybody. It can't be just a one person. Oh, this person's good, so they get an endorsement. It doesn't work. It can't work that way. It's got to be where everybody can participate.
It's gonna be how big your name is. If you'll be able to like give yourself a big name at the collegiate level, then you'll be able to get those endorsements.
But how do you do that when like Keith just said, as an old lineman looking for a Gatorade contract? How do you get your name? What are you doing that's really getting your name out there? Like as an old lineman compared to like a receiver, then a quarterback. Like, of course, come on now, like, you're the backbone of that offense, backbone of that team, and those guys are getting an endorsement because they're the face.
I was about to say, they're not really, nobody really pays attention to O-lines unless you're like a fan of the sport.
That's what I'm saying. And when you have a goal or incentive-based system where it's an actual system and you can literally show and prove this is how much I made and this is how much I'm supposed to make or something like that, then that's the only way it can possibly work when everybody's on a level playing field. Everybody has the opportunity to make whatever they can make off of it, rather than just off the uncapped variable off the endorsement. That's just how I feel about it.
Well, like I said, we'll see what they come up with. Next, we want to talk about Tiger Woods, man. We want to give our condolences, man. We definitely hope for a speedy recovery. It was terrible what has happened to him. And like I said, we just hope for the best for him and his family.
Definitely.
Next, we're going to talk about Kyrie and his logo situation. How do y'all feel about it? You know he wanted to see Kobe out there, his mentor, as the new logo.
It's just about time, and it's a great choice. That's all I'm going to say. About time and great choice.
I think it's a great choice as well. But I ran into quite a few people who mentioned that they think other people are more deserving of being the logo. But my personal opinion, I feel like Kobe Bryant is really the best player to use as the logo. Like, granted, they named him the All Star MVP game after him. That's great, but Kobe was literally the epitome of basketball. All the players today, they all idolize Kobe. Everybody grew up watching Kobe. Like, yes, all the other legends that came before Kobe were great, but the impact that Kobe Bryant had is far greater. They got their feet in the door to push everybody else, but Kobe is the one that brought everybody in and made them stay. So they definitely need to make the change. 50 years is long overdue.
I definitely think they should have Kobe Bryant as the logo as well. I think it would be beneficial as well. I definitely agree with what Kyrie Irving definitely said. Even though sometimes people may not like what he say or who he is as a person, he
Become
definitely
true.
correct sometimes. So this is one of those is where I think he has got this right, and it's definitely been long overdue.
Yeah. Especially with
I,
the expansion of basketball that's happened under Kobe. Like he's probably one of the most famous guys overseas,
yeah,
especially
no, for
basketball.
sure.
Yeah, so just having him, around the game is a blessing. So I mean, the least I think the NBA can do is at least honor him in some way like that. So I'm full Kobe. I'm definitely full.
Full support.
Yeah.
Next, we're switching to the NFL. JJ Watt,
Crazy.
the Cardinals. Tell me, how does this affect Arizona now moving forward?
They're
Please,
definitely
I want
better
to know.
in a sense. They're getting better. They've gotten
Now,
better.
now, do you see this being a an offensive problem now that they need to step up more in the offensive end, or do you think they still have a look have key pieces to put on that defense?
They still got key pieces to put on that defense. They did finish top 15, but they got to work on their passing yards, work on their rushing yards, learn how to stop the run, learn how to strap up and control the passing yards. So the team still have a lot to work on. So it's not quite yet that they're at a contending level.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. They're not contending just yet. They definitely need some help, on that defensive side. I'll say they're probably two or three players total away from really contending for for at least the conference. I think right now they're still probably second or third best in their division. I don't even think, right now as it stands, I would take Seattle, and I would take possibly if I might take LA, the Rams, over them.
You're gonna have to, honestly.
Yeah. And
LA,
honestly,
LA is gonna be a force with this season coming up. They're gonna win the division.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Matthew Stafford and with the Rams, and if they can complement him finally and put a running game around him, because now he has a defense. He doesn't have any excuse.
Yeah,
He doesn't have any excuse. He's been in the league
unless
about
his O
90
line lets him down.
years now. Being with the Rams now, he's been in the league about going on 12, 13 years, I believe. I think he came in about 2009. So he's going on about his 12th, 13th year. And, he's shown his arm, he's shown his ability to lead and to stick with a team and put his all into a team. I remember when he was playing with a cracked, well, I think it was a cracked clavicle. Well, like he did something with his shoulder and he had to, still continue the game, and he had a game-winning drive actually that game. So I mean, he's a tough guy, and I think that he's going to do well, especially match with that defense. He has no excuse now. It's going to be really exciting to see what Sean McVay can do on that side, on the Rams. So, JJ to Arizona is going to be really good to see, but I still see them being only second or third best in that division.
Okay. So do you think this would be an opportunity for Deshaun to go there too, to reunite with Hopkins and
Nah, they don't need. They have a young
Yeah,
Kyler Murray.
yeah, Kyler. I mean, if you trade Kyler, which would be the shocker of probably the decade already, like it's
Texans reunite in Arizona
yeah, it's
with
like
an offensive line. Yeah, they will actually do something if that happens. But
That's all I'm saying, though.
they're gonna stick
Kingsbury
with Kyler though. Kyler's been doing well.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying he hasn't, but it's just the fact that you could now go get a top 5 quarterback, right? You patching up things on the defense. You reunite him with his star wide receiver, and you have an O-line. I'm just saying, with Deshaun, they do get better. Now, I'm not saying is it likely for it to happen. We'll never know, because I don't think personally they'll get rid of Kyler either.
I don't think so. That wouldn't be a smart move for them.
Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, but
it is intriguing. Like throwing away to Kyler's
Definitely.
career, bro.
So where do you see, with all the controversy in Seattle?
Yeah.
Where do you see Russell landing? That's if he is even moved. I mean, because he just got dismissed from one of the team meetings, and this is supposed to be your franchise player.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say about Russ. It seems like he's going through a similar situation as to what Deshaun Watson's going through, as far as the franchise not really, really like really taking them into consideration. Like with Deshaun, it was more about the coaching. It was about how can we get more black coaches here? Can we get Eric Bieniemy? Can we get some of these other great minds that also happen to be minds of minority, to this team, and the team was just ignoring it. I think Seattle is more about a player thing. It's about what can we do to help this O-line? What can we do to help this team? And I think the direction that, both parties were going, it just wasn't right. So, I mean, I don't see him, playing for that team this year. But if he does, it's going to be interesting to see how his play is affected. But, I mean, this is a very, very, very volatile situation. And it can shake up because now he becomes the hottest quarterback on the market. It's not Deshaun Watson
easily. I seen Mayers beefing over him.
Literally.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
That's the crazy part. Mayers.
Yeah, Chicago, Dallas. I mean, he picked for 4 teams that he wanted to go to, and that was the whole thing. Like, I wouldn't cheat on my team. Like, I'm not leaving my team, but if I did, here are 4 teams that I would go to. And people kept saying, like, I'm not going to love Seattle.
My wife. That's a shot at Seattle.
He was like, I love my wife, but if I were to cheat on her, these are the 4 women I would cheat on her with.
So if you
like,
come over here,
that's basically what he did, though.
That's basically it. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
But you can't blame him, though.
You can't.
No.
Like you communicate that you're trying to patch holes up on this O-line, and you get brushed off.
Yeah.
So he basically did the right thing by saying, like, these are the 4 teams I would go to. So it's basically like, Seattle, I would leave you if you don't fix this problem. So if they are really precious and cautious to protect their franchise quarterback, they're gonna listen. If not, then you're literally gonna see the last of LOB gone. That whole era, that 2014 team. Like,
actually, it's still one more player on there. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
I forgot. It's if Russ leave, it's still one more person.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby. AJ still there.
Okay, so 2. I thought it was one more. So 2.
AJ Wright still there.
But that would be it from that championship team.
Player wise, yeah.
I, in my opinion, if he actually goes to the Saints will be a problem.
He goes to the Saints, that's a championship.
Well, yeah. Think about it. If so, you got Russell
goes to the Saints. It's a championship.
Breeze because now Seattle got him for veteran minimum, and it buys you a year of time. Now,
you
can think about what's gonna happen next year.
That's a championship.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens.
Facts. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas.
Yes, it's a championship.
And that they have a great offensive line.
And the crazy part is, other than last year, I can't say they really lost in the playoffs. Like that Vikings jump was a fluke. Are you
talking about to the corner to Zach Randolph or to?
I'm talking about when they played the Vikings to Stephon Diggs. That jump was crazy. How that played out.
Yeah,
it was look up, make the tackle. He won't.
And that whole season against the Rams, that was
That
terrible.
one with the Rams, like
That was terrible.
as you look back in time, they really never like lost until just last year. Like they always had the game in their hands, and somehow something fluke happens, like something you wouldn't even think of.
Yeah, that touchdown in the corner blew me because the Saints literally had that game.
Like you had the Vikings,
Had them.
the
Twice.
refs missed the call versus the Rams.
Twice, man. It's
Like
terrible.
other than this year, I'm not last year, but other than this year, I can't really say they lost. Like a team just flat out beat them.
Yeah.
This is my first time I can be like, oh yeah, no, they got beat.
Yeah.
You lost this game. But if he goes to the Saints,
That's a problem.
yeah.
That's a problem.
So now you got Russell Wilson and Tom Brady in the same division. You might have then Deshaun Watson could go to Carolina because Carolina got money. Now that'll be a hella NFC South.
And our
hell of a
is already
division.
tough.
It'll be a division, but Saints, Buccaneers, Panthers. Deshaun Watson is gonna do that much. He's gonna be a force, but he's not gonna be that. He's not gonna be.
Don't sleep on Atlanta. I'm just letting you know that we have our seasons where we go up and down, and next thing you know, somehow we just end up 11-5. That's just how we work,
bro. I'm be honest.
How we work. We go 11-5 one year, we go 4-12 the next. That's just how we work. I don't know why.
It's also gonna be interesting to see how Dak his contract is going to play out because now he's moved down the ring now. You got Russell, you got Deshaun. And technically, you still kind of got Drew Brees out there, even though he's signed to a 1-year veteran minimum. He's still at that point. If I'm the Saints, I might still have him on a traded block if I could get.
I'm the Saints. I'll let him go. It's time.
Honestly,
just trade him. He's a veteran minimum. That's what 1 point.
They don't even have a backup. Well, actually, no, they do.
They still got
the thing is, if I was the Saints, I would let Jameis Winston run the show.
No.
I'd rather have Taysom Hill do it than Jameis Winston.
Nah.
I don't know about that either.
Nah.
That's fine, but I can't trust Jameis Winston.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I can't say I don't trust him, but I can't say I fully trust him either.
You know what I'm saying? You throw just as much interceptions if you did touchdowns, and I'm sorry. Those
numbers are not
supposed to be the same.
That's all I can say. At least you know he's scoring. I mean, he throwing 3 books, but he giving you 3 touchdowns. So I can't really say too much.
You throwing it to the wrong team.
Like,
come on.
I understand it, but that's why I would still have Drew Brees as my backup because we know he's getting old. It's just that time where like Brees, it's time to step away. Like Peyton Manning, he had the fingers, like he couldn't feel his fingers. And I don't even know why he tried to pump fake and act like he was coming back. No, Peyton, it's time to step away.
Yeah.
It's just when it's time. And that last game we see Drew Brees in, it looked like it's his time.
Yeah, so I mean, but that changes now the direction that the Saints will be heading in. So now do you call this season a wash? So what do you do with Alvin Kamara, Mike Thomas, and again, and all these guys that are still in their prime?
I don't call it a wash.
I mean, you're not going to go anywhere with Jameis Winston. I'm sorry to Jameis, but I'm sorry. You're not taking him to the playoffs, bro.
So Tom Brady did Jameis Winston's job.
So who do you pick up next is what I'm trying to figure out because I don't think Brees stay after since he's there, he's coming back. I don't think he stay after this year. I think he finally lets him go.
I think the thing about Brees is that he's a hell of a trade piece right now because if you think about it, you're getting still great talent who could be better than some of the other QBs that you have on your roster. You're like, you know what? Let's go to him. Like, no, he still has talent. He can still throw the ball and he'll buy you a year. That's why I think that any team that is looking to rebuild but just needs a little bit of time to figure out which direction that they want to go in, like Seattle would be prime because Seattle doesn't have any real big name guys anymore. And if they do, like KJ and Bobby, they're at the top of the hill. for most of their careers. You know, Bobby's been in the league for what, about 10 years now? At least 10.
Like that.
You know, so at the end of the day, you got these guys that are on the back, you know, the backside of their career most likely. And are you going to center the team around them? No, you got to find a new piece. So whether that be a new quarterback, a new receiver, when they might start building around DK, you know, try to give him a different type of quarterback, which is, you know, I think Russ is probably the best type of quarterback for him.
Yeah,
But,
honestly.
you know, you got to buy yourself a year. So why not get a quarterback that can still throw the ball at a high clip and can still do it, you know, very well.
But if they get Drew Brees, that's going to be the end of Drew Brees' career.
Yeah, but it buys them a year. So now I can figure out, instead of Russ figuring out, you know, trying to figure out what to do right now or in this coming draft, take a break because they don't have a high draft pick. They ain't going to get a great quarterback. Buy yourself a year. Take your time. And you might be able to convince Drew Brees to come back for another year.
Maybe. The way that offensive line is set up, nobody wants to play behind them.
But who knows? Who knows? So I think it's going to be interesting, though. It's going to be interesting how this plays out.
Definitely. So let's switch gears. Black History Month just passed. Let's just talk about our impact on the sports world in any sport. You know what I mean? We had Tiger Woods in golf. You had several athletes in the NBA as far as Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You could go on and on with that list. Football, from just black quarterbacks alone, Cam Newton, Michael Vick, you know what I mean? Like just Lamar Jackson, if I just want to keep Russ, like just keep naming some. Man, what has black people impact been on the game? Just any game, sports, regardless of the sports, man. Just talk to me about it.
If it wasn't for black people, the sports would not be as popular as it is today. Black people are literally the reason why all these sports are a commodity. Like, yeah, they made some money. They profited, but it was more so like pocket change. Like the players in like the NBA when it first started out, they was making like $13 because the league was making like maybe like 100. So they had to pay them, but they weren't really getting paid that much, you know, and people were just watching it because there was nothing else on. So as soon as you have the black players come in and now it's more competitive and now it's more fun to watch because you see what they're actually doing, it's like, okay, now the monetary has increased. The value of the NBA, the value of the NFL, it increased tenfold ever since black players came in. So black players, they honestly need the credit. I love how black players have the whole month where they're recognized, especially the huge historical figures, Muhammad Ali, you know, Jackie Robinson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like he said back in the 50s, 60s.
Serena Williams.
Russell, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Wilt Chamberlain, a lot of them, they had to encounter a lot of issues. But while they were encountering those issues, they were selling out seats. The same people going to see them are the same people cussing them out because they're black people, but you paid to go see them because you know they're nice. So I love the recognition that black people have been getting, especially because they're the ones who raised the sports to what it is today.
Yeah, and just going off that last piece, I think it's all about transcending whatever sport that you're in. And if you look at almost every sport, and I would say possibly other than hockey and maybe rugby, we have either taken over or we have transcended that sport to where you know, to put it on the path of where it is today. NBA, NFL, you can argue with baseball, especially with Jackie Robinson, with Hank Aaron, and just even the existence of having a Negro League,
Barry Bonds,
and being able to compare, you know, and be on things like that, and Barry Bonds and people like even
Jackson,
Jeter, you know, and people like, yeah, like there's people out there that transcended sports. And if you look at most of those people, if you put them on, if you wrote them down in a list, most of them would be African Americans, will be Black people. And that just goes to show that, like, I don't know how to put it. I mean, it's just like, that's what we do. Like, we've transcended culture, we've transcended sports, we've transcended almost everything that we've touched. And I think that it can only get better from here with that. So I'm excited to see what we can do moving forward with what we've already been able to do with the innovations and the evolution that we've brought to the game of basketball, to football, to baseball. Like, whatever innovation that's happened, we have been a part of them. We've been at the forefront of that. You know, we've been at the face of the league since the 70s, been the face of football since the 70s and 80s. Like, it's we've been that.
I say, wasn't the
For
first
sure.
football dynasty the Steelers,
Yeah. I mean,
led by Mean Joe Green?
well, it'd actually be the Packers. It'd be the Packers for first football dynasty. But
I mean, that was
yeah,
only 2 compared to the 4 that the Steelers did.
well, that's two NFL. But when they were the AFL and the NFL, when they had two different separation league, the Packers were winning, like, they won like 4 in a row, and then they won the first 2.
And then
So,
weren't
like,
the Browns the one that were playing very well as well?
yeah, Browns were good back then.
Yeah, and the star running back?
For the Browns,
Yeah.
Jim Brown.
Uh-huh.
But actually, that was 60s. That was afterwards. That was yeah. But yeah, I mean, even then, like, guys like Jim Brown, guys like Gail
Exactly.
Savage,
Exactly. The
like,
list goes on and on.
it extends way further than people really, care to think about. So we've put our imprint on the culture and on this game and every game, and we're going to continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And with that just being said, I want to give a huge shout out to Renee Montgomery as well. She just became one of the co-owners for the Atlanta Dream.
Mm-hmm.
So taking it off of Kelly Loeffler, her name's Kelly Loeffler, she was a governor who wanted to stop, who wanted the NBA players, the WNBA players, to stop supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, which is so crazy though, during this time. So I just want to salute to Renee Montgomery. She's a WNBA champion as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations for
Right.
just that pass ring, because we all know how hard it is just to even win one. But just this is just a huge accomplishment, and congrats to LeBron James as well, because he helped her out during her journey trying to be this co-owner for the Atlanta Dream. So just two huge, just a huge accomplishment during the month of February, during Black History, which needs to be pointed out, where I just feel as though she don't get enough recognition for that, because it's the WNBA. Them women over there, they don't get the recognition that they deserve, especially how they encourage people to go vote, how they push the Black Lives Matter movement, how you got Maya Moore out here doing her thing.
Yep. She
So,
retired early just to be an advocate.
Yep, just to be an advocate, like just doing her thing out here. Those players, the WNBA do not get the recognition they deserve.
They deserve more.
Yeah, they definitely deserve more. It has nothing to do with the game of sports, just for the stuff that they do outside of the sports, for the culture, and just helping the advancement of Black people. So definitely want to give a shout out to them as well. But I definitely feel our impact as a community, how we do things, and how we're just inspirations for even the younger generation. For those who inspired to be the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the Stephen Currys, the LeBron James, like, just for us to have those leaders out there, you know what I mean? And just always trying to thrive to better our community in some shape, way, or form. Like, I want to give another shout out to Russell Westbrook for he's now one, he's doing the documentary. 2, he's opening up a school in California, the Why Not High School, I think, and I want to say middle school. So he's doing 2 big, huge things, 2 big, huge projects. I want to give a shout out to Russell Westbrook for that. As we continue to make history this year, just striving to be better. So I have no complaints, man. I just love the way our people is trying to better ourselves as well as the people around us.
Definitely.
Definitely. I think
Uh,
we also got to give Donovan Mitchell a shout out too. He donated the largest check to his oldest school, his alma mater. I believe it was like between 20 to 40 million, just to help out the youth for today. Like
Definitely,
black athletes utilizing their power just to help out the future generation.
and that also wants to lead me back to giving a shout out to James Harden and John Wall for what they're doing for Texas, for the community in Texas as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to
Ah,
just the people off the just top of my head that I could just think of like right then and there.
Hard right now.
We want to
honestly, we got to give one more shout out to LeBron. Even though the news haven't really covered this in a few years, but when he opened the I Promise school, that is literally revolutionary. That's
definitely
revolutionary.
Also,
definitely.
yeah, you got players like Jalen Rose too that you know, found out that they have schools as well, especially back in Detroit, that are doing the same things. You know, just
Yep.
seeing them get back into education and getting back into these communities that can have something that's generational. That school is going to be something that's going to be there for a while now. So it's going to have many students, and it's going to be great to see some of the products that come from these communities and how they can further transcend our culture.
And not only that, let's talk about Deion Sanders as well, because we always talk about that PWI, HBCU, how we feel as though these top athletes that are black need to go here, and he's trying to do that as far as put Jackson State, a HBCU, a historically black college, on the map by going there, knowing that his name already attracts such huge attention, just having a successful season, want players to come there because they think he can get to the next level and not because of the publicity they may get just playing under him.
Yeah.
So definitely want to give a huge shout out to him as well, and just everybody else who's out there doing amazing things.
The reemergence of the HBCU, or just reinvested back into our own community schools. This is going to be beautiful to see the residuals and just you know the product of this. This is going to be beautiful.
And I just want to even step outside a little bit. This Michael B. Jordan, because I also heard he's putting together HBCU Classic as well for sports. So, man, if you haven't checked it out, check it out. Definitely just want to give these shout outs out during this great month of February that just ended to all those who are trying to impact the community and just the black people around the world.
Yes, sir.
Let's make sure like Black History Month doesn't mean the end of Black history. Like we make history every day.
Every day.
We're gonna continue to make history. And honestly, I think our history will and should be studied every single day because it's part of America and it's part of world history. So, you know, we got to put more emphasis on us. You know, and I think that we're headed in that direction. So
definitely
gotta stay consistent with it.
I couldn't agree more. Man, I just want to thanks for everybody tuning in. It's another episode of Chalk It to the Game. Like I said, I'm your host, Marquise, and I'm here with my two brothers, man.
It's your boy Joe Sue.
JB.
And we out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Chalk It to the Game podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Chalk It to the Game, Twitter at Chalk It 2 the Game, as well as YouTube at Chalk It to the Game channel. You can also catch us on every platform where you can find your favorite podcast. Just search Chalk It to the Game and enjoy.